last day or two. The first two games, the first team offense played maybe half the game. The second game against App State, they played maybe into the middle of the third quarter. They haven't. Number one, they haven't faced a defense as good as they faced Thursday night in Louisville, and number two, they hadn't played a whole lot enough really together
themselves.
In
yes,
action,
yes,
to develop any kind of rhythm. And so I think that was some of the issue last Thursday night. But on the other hand, I understand when it's 45-10, you don't want to keep a guy out there, especially if you've got a game in 3 days. And that was another thing. The short week. I mean, people are complaining about the offense. My biggest complaint is the kickoff coverage.
Of course.
It's abysmal, and it's been abysmal for a long time.
Years. And
I don't understand why they can't fix it. Now, there is some news today that Lapkin is back and competing for the place-kicking job, and but right now he's riding the pine, because they're fine there, but he might be able to help with kickoffs.
Now, that was one of the things that I had read something yesterday, that he basically is going to be competing for the kickoff job right now.
Yeah, well, I would, if you can kick it out of the end zone, then that's going to be your job, and we're spending a scholarship so we can have somebody who can kick it out of the end zone.
You can get paid on Sundays for doing that too.
Fine.
You know that, yeah. Kick
it out, because that means you don't have to cover the kick. And but it's embarrassing. I mean, it was but this goes back to Tommy Bowden. Clemson struggled covering kicks, and it just was almost a killer Thursday night, because you got control of the game finally. It's 20-10, and you're getting ready to put your foot on their throat, and they run one back for a touchdown, and then that gets the crowd right back in the game, and you're back in a Hornets.
Yeah, and the team adrenaline starts flowing again.
You kick off to them, stop them, get the ball back. It's 20-10. You shove another one in. It's 27-10. Good night.
Yeah, you go home.
See you later.
Yeah.
So, but that's okay. A win is a win is a win, and so. This week and next week will be devoted to trying to fix the kickoff coverage, and I think probably trying to find a little more smooth the offense out a little bit, get the execution going where it needs to be. They need to get the tempo up again.
Has Mike Williams' absence been that important?
I think it probably has. I can't see him being their only deep threat, but apparently his size and his ability to stretch the field has been missed. When he'll be back, I don't know, but yeah, I think you can say that it has affected them in some ways, especially trying to do the vertical passing game, because Watson did struggle trying to stretch the field the other night, and it's really an element that they're missing right now. That have a couple of long ones against App State, but he extended the play, and but they've got to hit some big balls to get people off of them. Now, another positive that we really haven't talked about is Wayne Gallman. I mean, the rushing game has been, I think, as good as it's been in a long time. He's running very well. He ran so good the other night that I think there was only one or two other carries by another running back. I mean, they just kept riding him. They just kept feeding him. And if they can get 100 yards a game out of him, that will help a lot.
He's a physical back, and he has a pretty good speed. So, and he can. His vision seems pretty good as he hits it up in there. He can see that little crease. Better than some. Some people just dive straight ahead. And anyway, now just a question that popped in my mind the other day. All right, they've got all this time to rest and heal and do, and they got to play the number 5 team in the nation in some polls. A great historical team on a Saturday night, nationwide TV. Do they spend any time taking a peek at Georgia Tech during these 2 weeks?
Already have during the summer.
Oh, I know that.
No, I don't think you can afford to do that. I think you have to full attention to. Well, on the other hand, if you do some intense study of the Notre Dame Georgia Tech films, you're probably killing 2 birds with one stone.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah,
and I'm sure they crowded around the TV Saturday to watch that game, and I'm sure they'll analyze that tape, and that way it really helps Clemson's scouting ability because they really only have to watch one tape.
Yeah,
and so I think. In that aspect, I think, they probably will spend some time on Tech. But I think at this point, with the schedule getting to be real like it is, I don't think you can afford to look ahead in any way, shape, or form.
I was going to talk about some of the games that are coming up. Michigan is a 5-point favorite over BYU.
Yeah, I saw that spread. That really shocks me. BYU lost by 1 at UCLA. I thought UCLA would hammer them, and they didn't. But now BYU's got to come back to Michigan, and I don't know. Somebody knows something I don't, because that spread looks awfully weird.
All right, I was shocked when I first saw this. Kentucky -3 against Missouri. Missouri that bad? It is being played at Kentucky, but.
From what I saw on TV Saturday, it was pretty bad. They could not generate any offense, and it was just flat ugly. So I don't know what their issue is there. I haven't read enough about them. I know Mock is still the quarterback, but I don't think he's ever lived up to his hype.
Sometimes he's colorblind when he starts throwing the ball. He cannot always find the right jersey.
He's just not. USA Today Player of the Year, whatever it was. Won a lot of accolades coming out of high school, but he hasn't produced, I don't think.
Well, those are, and there was another game that I thought the spread was a little bit different on than I would have expected, and it escapes me right now.
Was it Georgia -56 against Southern?
You sure that's not the over and under?
How about this one now? This one got my eye. Georgia Tech giving 9 points at Duke.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Duke, through the years, has just been a pain in Georgia Tech's rear.
And Duke's not old Duke.
Well, Duke beat them last year.
Yeah.
So, and another one, Boise State -2.5 at Virginia.
And
that says Virginia's worth of crap. I don't know whether Virginia's any good or not.
Look who Virginia's played.
They did play Notre Dame to the wall. They got beat by UCLA
they got
a couple of touches.
Yeah, they played Notre Dame all the way up there. Considering what you think London was going to be doing, with this schedule, they may be ready by the time they get to the conference.
He's going to get fired. Oklahoma State -3 at Texas.
That's not enough.
Read something interesting on this game is that the road team has won this game the last 6 years. Texas had a massive comeback against Cal last week and then missed an extra point and lost by 1.
Man, can you imagine that poor kicker?
They're really struggling in Austin. Bowling Green giving Purdue 1 point on the road. Bowling Green can score a lot. And how did this game come about? And why would Syracuse even schedule it? LSU at Syracuse, and LSU has given Syracuse 24 points. Now, if LSU can even find its way from the Bayou to upstate New York, there might be some culture shock there for a while. But I don't see any way Syracuse can even come close to getting inside that 24 points.
You're so right on that one because That
running back is a man. I talked to a buddy of mine who was live at the game, and he said it was unbelievable to watch that guy in person.
People bounced off of him like
flew off of him, trying to. Florida given a 1.5 at home against Tennessee, so there's still some non-belief in Tennessee. But Notre Dame's a 28.5-point favorite over UMass.
That's kind of a warm-up game. That's a little scrimmage.
But here's one. This is another one that kind of caught my eye. TCU giving 7.5 in Lubbock against Texas Tech, which is undefeated and beat Arkansas at Arkansas last week.
But TCU is supposed to be TCU, man. You know.
The Dallas paper, I happened to be in Dallas this weekend for a family wedding, and the Dallas Morning News Saturday morning was praising SMU for hanging around. It was like 54-37 or something like that, and they were actually saying that SMU is making progress, and TCU's been a heavy favorite in every game. Now they've won. But I don't think they've yet to cover a spread. But Auburn giving Mississippi State 3 points. So you're asking me about Mississippi State.
Yeah, right.
How bad has Auburn been? And they're giving Mississippi State 3 points.
Yeah, and that's at Auburn, too. Louisiana Monroe now is
when is NC State going to play anybody? They haven't played anybody. They got South Alabama this week.
They almost never play anybody much outside of the conference.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah. Occasionally they'll play somebody. But
UTEP is playing Incarnate Word this week. I'm serious. Texas El Paso against Incarnate Word. There's no spread.
That would be a game you'd pay big money to go see, right? Wow.
Incarnate Word is 2-1, and they're in the Southland Conference. So that's crazy.
Well, it's kind of like the Southern University Jaguars are 2-1.
Utah and Oregon's a good game this week, and then the other one worth watching. The Pac-12's got two huge matchups this week. Utah at Oregon. That's number 18 at number 13, and then UCLA at Arizona.
Well,
UCLA's given 4 points on the road. UCLA number 9 in the country. Arizona's number 16.
Now Southern Cal is playing Arizona State.
Yeah, so Arizona State has not. They've struggled. That's 2-1 teams, and they're. That's kind of a stay alive game there. So, there's not a whole lot. Next week we'll definitely seriously dive into the conference schedules. I mean, pretty much everybody will be playing conference next week.
Right. Right. Before we go, I want to run down a quick look at the FCS coaches poll, simply because an in-state team in South Carolina here, Coastal Carolina, is still number 1, and they're moving up to the big boy
division.
Yeah. And they're followed by North Dakota State, who lost one for a change. Jacksonville State.
They lost to Montana.
Yeah.
To open the season.
Yeah. And Jacksonville State is number 3. They're 2-1. Their one loss was an OT with Auburn.
Should have beat Auburn.
And then Villanova. That's a basketball school if there's ever been one.
Well,
they're number 4.
They dropped their program and then brought it back a few years ago.
Illinois State, followed by Northern Iowa, South Dakota. James Madison is number 8, and Chattanooga, out of the Southern Conference, is number 9, and Liberty is number 10. So that's some pretty good football those people play. People like you and I keep up more with the big schools, as we call them. But anyway, Cobb, thank you. Next week we'll have maybe a little bit more.
Got any Notre Dame tickets?
Yeah.
Do not call me for Notre Dame tickets. Don't even pick up the phone.
And if you have Notre Dame tickets,
do not waste your time.
Do not sell your Notre Dame tickets to a Notre Dame fan either.
How do I know if they're not?
Well, I'm talking.
How do I know?
Well, Well, people
they might
sell
be
them all the
wearing
time.
Clemson gear, and then the night of the game,
They're wearing it
they'll throw on a green shirt and go to the game
and
you know?
wear that clover.
Well, but no school in the country's got more Subway alumni
Sure.
and hanger-on fans